Hello, Wonderhussy here, coming to you live from the border of Nevada and Utah. That's Nevada, and that's Utah, with all the beautiful, striking rock formations. Headed over there tomorrow, and I can't wait to see what surprises Utah holds for me. That's right, I'm back on the road again, camping and exploring in my trusty, weather-beaten rig. And speaking of my rig, I've got some exciting new updates on the bumper front. If you've been following the saga of my bumper, well, the bumper's been dinged up for a while. I ordered a new one on eBay. The guy shipped it via Greyhound bus, Greyhound cargo, out of Houston on June 12th. And, well, it ended up in Dallas, and it's been there ever since. So I ended up getting my money back. The seller refunded me the money. I felt bad for him because it wasn't his fault. Greyhound lost it. Every time I went and logged on to the Greyhound bus cargo tracking website, showed that it was still in Dallas, still in Dallas, still in Dallas. Well, even though I got my money refunded, I thought, I'll bet you anything that bumper is still going to make its way to Las Vegas, just slower than molasses in January on Jupiter. I just made that up. Sounds pretty good. Anyway, I logged in about a week ago, just kind of ho-hum, let me just see if my bumper's still in Dallas. Bumper is in Los Angeles! Woohoo! It took 2 months basically to get from Houston to Dallas, and then it made it to LA in the blink of an eye. Well, LA is only like 4 hours from Vegas. I mean, heck, I could just drive out there and pick it up myself. And it's been in LA for, I think, a couple of weeks now. And, well, I figure if it took 2 months to get from Houston to LA, well, maybe it'll take like another couple weeks to get from LA to Vegas. So fingers crossed, I might actually get the dang bumper after all. And if I do, well, I told the seller I would pay him for it if I finally got it, but I'm just going to give him half the money. And I think I've already talked about that in another vlog, so let me not waste any more time on that. Anyway, you're probably wondering why I drove all the way out here just to camp on top of this dreary knoll in the middle of this bleak sagebrush plain. Well, let me tell you something. This wasn't my first idea. Unfortunately, there's a big old wildfire or 2 or 10 burning in California, and I'm pretty sure that's what all that haze is. It's wildfire smoke that's just blown clear across the state of Nevada, and, well, it's making for a very moody ambiance, which, I'll be honest, I kind of like. Doesn't smell smoky here. Like where I camped last night was a nightmare. It was really smoky. There were flies everywhere. I don't know why. It was just kind of like a sagebrush field like this, and there was no dead cow nearby. It wasn't open rangeland, so there wasn't cow turd everywhere, but for whatever reason, like I hardly parked and there was, I'm not exaggerating, probably 50 flies in my car, like swarming around. And oh my God, if you've ever had flies in your car and you try to get rid of them, you know how hard it is. I managed to shoo most of them out before I went to sleep, but there were still a few flying around and they're buzzing on my face, and oh gosh, it was annoying. And well, I drove around all day trying to get rid of them. I think there's still 2 dang flies in the car. And so I just kind of gave up trying to get rid of them. And, well, they're my pets. They're my house flies, okay? I named them Terry and Jerry. No, wait. I already have friends named Terry and Jerry. I named them Larry and... Oh, wait. I named them Carrie and Mary. That's what their names are. Anywho, you can see this is a very, very desolate part of the country. And that's kind of why I'm up here. I mean, I started my trip by heading up straight north in Nevada to one of the most desolate regions in the entire lower 48. And I won't say too much about it because I shot some videos and I want it to be a surprise. But gosh, I've spent the last 3 days in extremely desolate regions with no cell signal. And oh my God, I was going nuts. Like I couldn't even look at a fire map to see. I was planning to go up to Idaho and check out some hot springs, but once I finally got signal this morning and I looked at the fire map, come to find out half the state of Idaho is on fire too. So unfortunately, I had to put the kibosh on that plan and, well, come up with plan B, which is Utah. And, well, like I said, I'm camping right here on the Nevada-Utah border tonight. And yes, you can bet your sweet bippy I'm going to smoke dope in Utah tonight. And I'm well aware of the fact that it's not legal. And if anyone hassles me about it, I'll just hop back over the state line to Nevada where it is legal. Anyway, yeah, it has been kind of a bummer of an expedition thus far. This is my last expedition of the summer. My summer Rumspringa. Remember how I was saying, like, well, come September 1st, I got to start moving all my stuff out to Death Valley. So I only have time for one more trip, and I got to make it count. But because of all the setbacks I had this summer, like I had to get my breast looked at, and then, well, all these wildfires, and then all the stuff to do with the compound in Death Valley, well, I only had 12 days to travel around, and it really wasn't enough time to go. You know, I really wanted to go to Wyoming. I really wanted to go to Idaho. I really wanted to go to Colorado. I wanted to go so many places and see so many beautiful things. For that matter, I'd love to go to California and Oregon, but they're friggin' on fire. So I'm making the most of it, and I actually do have some pretty interesting things pinned on my itinerary, so look for many videos coming soon. I'm trying to shoot as many videos as I can on this trip because I need stuff to tide me over while I'm moving. I'm pretty much anticipating taking the whole month of September and October to get the new place ready and move all my stuff from Vegas. And, oh man, like, just, I've had some setbacks in that regard. I'll be honest, I've been feeling a little bit overwhelmed about this whole Death Valley compound. And I guess that's also part of the reason I wanted to go on this trip someplace desolate, just so I could drive and think. I do a lot of my best thinking when I'm driving. I'm sure some of you can relate to that. And especially like driving through these really minimalist, bleak landscapes like I've been doing for the last 2 days. It gives you a lot of time to let your thoughts kind of cycle. And what I like to do is, well, I'm a worrier. I'm trying to be less of a worrier and more of a warrior, but I'll be honest, I'm a worrier. I'm one of those people who worries about all kinds of stuff. And you might think, how are you a worrier? You'll come out here in the middle of nowhere and camp and not even lock your doors. Well, I don't worry about stuff like that. I just worry about, well, I'm just worried about a lot of stuff to do with this compound. Like, what am I doing moving to Death Valley? You know, like, I guess what really set it off is the fact that my electric bill out there was so high. And then I, talked to some of the locals, and yeah, man, they charge like over 30 cents a kilowatt hour out there. In Vegas, I only paid just over 10. So it was like 3 times as expensive for power. I don't want my power bill to be $500 in the summertime, which it could be very well. One of the locals I talked to said, yes, his power bill is between $450 and $500 in the summer. So, I guess before I even, like, my sister and I are trying to figure out if we should get a mini split or a bigger swamp cooler, this, that. Before we spend any money on any of that, we got to make sure the dang house is insulated well. Okay, that's just a no-brainer. And unfortunately, the guy who built the house, I don't know why these old-timers didn't take this stuff into consideration. Like, put all the windows on the north-facing side of the house. Like, this idiot, there's hardly any windows on the north side of the house. All the windows are on the west and the south, like, taking in the blazing friggin' sun. So there's only so much we can do about that. I mean, we can put some insulation in the attic. We have a really small, like, crawl space attic. We can stuff insulation into that as much as possible. And then, well, I think a couple of the windows are already double paned. And then a couple of the windows are taken up by the air conditioner and the swamp cooler. So there's really only 2 windows left that we could replace with double pane. So we'll do that. But realistically, we need to insulate the walls. You know what I mean? Like, the house is made out of cinder block, which in my foolish naivete, I thought, oh, cinder block, that's like dense cement. It'll keep anything cool. Well, no, it won't unless the cinder block is stuffed with insulation, which I'm almost positive these ones aren't. I mean, if the guy didn't even put windows on the north side of the house, he probably didn't fill the cinder block when he built it. So it's just like a big, expensive, messy, complicated. I think you can insulate the exterior wall of the house over the cinder block, but oh my God, then you got to blast all the stucco off, and it just sounds like a huge project that I certainly don't want to tackle. But I mean, I guess if that's what I have to do, then that's what I'll do. And then I'm having some second guessing about my house in Vegas, which, I'm on the fence. Do I want to sell it or should I just rent it out? Well, I don't really want to rent it out because I don't want to be a landlord. I have to put so much money into it to get it ready for renters and deal with the hassle of all that. And yeah, I know I could hire a property management company. I might yet still do that. But then again, if I sell the house, I could just walk away with a pretty tidy sum of money if housing prices hold for just a few more weeks. And that would be tax-free profit because of the way the law is about selling a house to buy another house. And oh, it's complicated, but my sister and I looked into the tax code, and yeah, I could walk away with a pretty good chunk of money and then, bide my time until the market eventually does crash and maybe buy another house that I like better in a place I like better. Because to be honest, no offense if you live in Vegas, there's a lot of good things about Vegas, but I don't really like living there, and I never really did feel like I fit in Vegas. I don't know. Especially now they got that stupid football stadium and traffic's a mess, and I don't know, man. Anyway, basically what I'm trying to say is I've got a whole lot of first world problems. And now, you might think this is a stupid video, but I find this very therapeutic to do, because just vocalizing these problems and talking to people about them makes me realize how lucky I am to even have these problems to be complaining about. Oh, boo-hoo, I bought a new house. Oh, boo-hoo, I have another house I have to figure out what to do with. Like, these are amazing problems that anybody would be glad to have. And yes, it's smoky and weird out here, but I'm still out here in the middle of this subjectively beautiful desert landscape. I'll pan this way because it's a little bit more visually beautiful. And hey, here's something I can be grateful for. As desolate as this place is, I have cell signal. So that means I can take some time tonight. I'm just getting ready to cook some dinner, and then I'll get on the old phone and answer some email. Apologies if you emailed me and I haven't answered you yet. It's really hard to keep up with email when you're out of cell signal as much as I am. So please don't be offended. I answer as much as I can. Anywho, that's about it for the Wonderhussy Report. I got what? I'm shooting this on the 21st, so I have 10 more days. 10 more days, and then back to Vegas, dentist appointment, and then back out to Death Valley to start doing whatever my sister thinks we need to be doing. She's already out there working on stuff, so I'm out here lollygagging around. Well, I'm shooting videos. It's a business trip at work, But I do need to get back there and help her. So with all that being said, well, the guitar's part of work too. I'm working on it, man. I've been practicing a little bit here and there. I'm still not very good, but maybe one of these days I'll be good enough to play a song for you. But for now, it's getting cold. I'm gonna pack up my guitar and make some dinner, get in the car, and answer some email. So see you on the next adventure.